We're in the middle of chatzitzas. We spoke last week about a woman washing with her ring. And really we have to talk about band-aids, be'ikr. But I'm going to leave that to the end because there's an incredible discussion in the Shulchan Aruch over here. And this happens all the time, and I don't even know if it's known that it's a shayla. So let's open with that and have some fun. You go to the bathroom before a bread meal. Okay? What does that mean? It means you went to the toilet and you planned on having bread afterwards. Very simple. So what's the shayla? The shayla is, and it's actually interesting because before they had the washing cup in the kitchen over there, we would often wash in these bathrooms. You could have this case all the time. What happens? You use the bathroom, you wash your hands, and you're about to have bread. So you wash your hands, you wash it 8 times instead of 6. You wash your hands, right? And then you come out of the toilet. What do you do now? What are your choices? You say Ashi Atzar. You say Netilas Yadaim. Yeah, you have this all the time. And yeah, it's okay. And or do you wash again? What do you do? What do you do? And this happens probably on many. Okay, so at a Shabbos Suda, it's not as common, I guess, because at a Shabbos Suda you're gonna have Kiddush often in between, unless you use the bathroom between Kiddush and washing. But this is a very common scenario. So before we hear what people think you should do or just do without thinking, now that we learned enough, we can appreciate what are the issues. What are the issues? You wash your hands. Oh, good. So you're going that way. You're hitting on the hard one. Be good. Let's go that way. You wash your hands, so your hands are clean. So what, are you going to wash your hands again? What does that do for you? And furthermore, and even if you're going to say, okay, ceremoniously wash your hands again, how are you making a bracha on a washing that doesn't do anything? How are you making al tizayim? Meaning what we suggested from the first cousin from the chief of the IDF officer is that, you also work in the IDF, whatever, different type of technology, is that use the bathroom, wash your hands, come out, make your ashi yatzar, wash your hands. Now the question is, how can you make an al tizayim? Because the washing did nothing. So what do you suggest?
You don't use a cup. No.
Don't use the cup the first time. Right. Good. Make an ashi yatzar, then use a cup, and then make al tizayim. So very good. That's good. That's going to be Rosh Zalman's. Now you should know, it's interesting that we have to get to Rosh Zalman as the Chiddush. The Shulchan Aruch does not bring this up. Now, again, I'll suggest a theory that could be in the world of the Shulchan Aruch. It's a different world, which we'll get to in a moment. But yeah?
You can just touch something that's dirty, like a table or like your
So then I'll ask you a question. If
touch a brown shoe before they wash every time. Other people do that. Before they wash their bread every time, they touch something, they touch the brown shoe. You ever seen them do that? Yeah.
Maybe. But 1 second, let me ask you a question. You're saying my bread. So if I'm sitting here and I absentmindedly scratch my head, a deep scratch, everyone knows they've seen a deep scratch, not deep scratch, whatever that means, a deep scratch. So now I can learn, obviously, it's also to learn right now, and we're very makbid on that one. So I go and I wash my hands, I make a bracha on Netilas Yadaim. You just said I make on Netilas Yadaim. So how does it help me? How does it help me? But Memanashach. No. What?
For bread, you need to wash your hands.
Good. Peter said you can't make al Netilas Yadaim because your hands are clean.
And you dirtied your hands again now for.
But you just talk again. What was the problem?
Anytime you're washing for bread,
go to the bathroom.
Your hands are dirty. How do you make your bracha?
Because your hands are dirty.
But you go to the bathroom.
Right, so you just made it dirty.
So it's a manashach. So good. So according to what you're saying is why we making issues? Just wash your hands and make a bracha. Finished. Well, you don't understand the Chagai's whole problem.
Go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
wash
no.
your hands.
No.
Then touch something that's like your hair.
Good.
And wash for bread.
With a bracha.
Yeah.
Why do you have to touch your hair?
Because then your hands are dirty.
Why do your hands have to be dirty? You just told me every time you wash your hands are dirty or not dirty. We never care about it.
I thought we just said.
That what?
The whole thing is that we
So then it's why you so don't scratch your head with chalal, just wash your hands and make a bracha.
Because your hands are clean from before.
Yeah, but you didn't wash your bread, though.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's get there. So first of all, obviously we have to quote the Shalah. You can't start off without a little Kabbalah. Comes along the Shalah, and he says, obviously, why are you using the bathroom before the meal, right? So most of us answer the question because I had to use the toilet. I didn't ask you and you. But the Shalah Kaddish comes along. Kasav bishla. The chol adam yivdoik atzmo lefanais kaidem anatila. Of course, before you eat a meal, you got to make sure you go and you check yourself and you go to the bathroom. and Avada. So when the Shlo learned the Shulchan Aruch that says Ha'isa Sarachav, use the bathroom, and V'roitz Lechel, you want to eat, he learned Bedavka, because of course every time you're going to eat, you have to first use the bathroom. Okay, that's on the side. But comes along. Let's begin with the Shulchan Aruch. Let's just read the Shulchan Aruch together, even though you don't have this Marmakim. Let's read the Shulchan Aruch. Ha'isa Sarachav, use the bathroom. Does not quantify what type of using the bathroom, which is also an important nikuda. But you use the bathroom. V'roitz lechel, and you want to eat. What do? Yitol shnei pamim. Says the Shulchan Aruch, you have to wash your hands 2 times. So just because you admitted out loud, you did this morning, so obviously you washed your hands 2 times?
I went out and now I'm back in.
Yeah. No. You went in and out.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. He said, the Shulchan Aruch says, wash your hands 2 times. Al Rishayna on the first one, Mavarich. Oh, let's hear. We're taking 2 sets. If you do sets.
I'm saying like the 3 and then again.
That's what it sounds like if you ever do 3. I told the Eilam I was looking for another Adam Gadol that washes his hands only 1. I might have found one. It hasn't been verified. I think Ray Pear. Ray Pear from Shir Frakwe. I think he washes his hands only 1.
You think you remember?
No, I definitely don't remember. Someone else in Yeshiva remembered. He was obviously a little bit more in tune than I was at the time. That's what he said to me. So I'm in the middle of verifying if this came from Rav Aaron. He's one of Rav Aaron's original Talmidim. So I'm in the middle of verifying if this came from Rav Aaron. Did we verify what the Zayda does? Or Timo, what does the Zayda do? You told me he does 3 each hand, right? I think so, right? Al Pi Kabbalah. Yeah, it's a beautiful picture that just went around with him and I don't remember who. Anyways, back to us. Al Rishayna on the first one. Someone sent me a whole email. Says, I see you have a grandson of Rav David Cohen in your shir, and he sent me a whole thing with Shilas. He said to Rav David Cohen, "Oh, Gishmak email." Because I must have said in one of the shirim. I don't know. You never know what you say in public. What could happen? You got to be careful. Al Rishayna Mavarich Ashiyatzar. Says the Shulchan Aruch, let's say you only want to wash 1 time. You make the Netilas Yadaim. So this is quickly gets very confusing. What exactly is going on over here? So let's get a little bit of background, because this is pretty fascinating. Whoever has a booklet, there's a tour, and the tour quotes Rashi, who quotes his Rebbe, interesting, by name, Rav Yaakov ben Yakar. Let's look at the tour. It's on page 24 if anyone has the booklets. Misha yatsa mi beis hakisei v'rata lita yadav la'achila sha'alu l'Rashi. They asked the Rashi, ha'im sarach lital shtei pamim v'heishif. And Rashi says, guess what? I asked this to my Rebbe. Sha'alti es Rabbeinu Yaakov ben Rav Yakar. I asked my Rebbe. V'amar li, so the Rebbe of Rashi teaches us shetzarach lital shtei netils. Al rishayna asher yatzar, v'al hashni al netilas yadayim. Aval ani. However, this is l'chayra Rashi talking. Svira li. Netila achas oila lekan ulekan. Fascinating how he's makdim divrei rabbi, then he argues with divrei rabbi. What do you mean? And it sounds like you still make both brachas. Sounds like it's but it's not. No, it's not clear. It's not clear. So I'm sorry, we didn't speak out. What's the problem? Excuse me, we didn't speak out. What's the potential problem over here? We would all just think, wash once. The problem is, this goes back to the beginning of what we learned, is that you're not allowed to talk between A and B.
Well, once you dry your hands.
Very good. So that's what's going on in the end of the Shulchan Aruch, is that if you don't dry your hands,
then you have
very good. Let's.
Why can't you dry your hands?
Yeah.
And then we said even with Chachila you could talk. We don't do it, but even between the Netilah.
So you're saying is make the Netilas Yadaim with what hands? Dry them, and then make Ashiyat Tzar? That's what you're suggesting. Okay. So the Mishnah Berurah over here gets involved in that, explaining that the background of the issue over here, and it's a very long and lengthy Mishnah which we're not going to read together, but the background of the issue is what everyone's saying, is this issue of the hefsek, So, why don't we just do what you just said? Say al Netilas Yadaim. No, you said to say which way? Asher Yatzar first, and then al Netilas Yadaim. No, al Netilas Yadaim and then Asher Yatzar. Very good, very good. The problem is that that's not lechatchila either, because you're not supposed to talk between the netila and the eating. Takef l'netila bracha.
When does Asher Yatzar have to be done?
Oh, very good. So why don't we just say do al Netilas Yadaim, eat, and then do Asher Yatzar? So says Mishnah Berurah, the issue there is that you're supposed to lechatchila make your Asher Yatzar in proximity to the toilet. No, you're right. You should know. I'll be honest. When I forget, and but it's not lechatchila. Lechatchila is Asher Yatzar right away. So, you're saying a few minutes. So I'll be honest. I mean, we're weighing in on like Divrei Rishonim here, so it's never a good idea. Yeah. Right. So again, these are the Mishnah Berurah over here. So the Beis, the fast Mishnah Berurah, he goes back and forth quoting mamish all the opinions that we just said, all these opinions, and we're downing what everyone's saying. B'diavad is going to work. That's what about every morning. You go to the bathroom, and then you tell them when I go to the bathroom in the morning.
People that go to the bathroom when they wake up in the morning.
Those who use the toilet in the morning. Continue.
When they get to shul, they make an Asher Yatzar.
They don't do it right away.
Yeah.
Why is that okay?
Because Chayadim says that's part of the Seder Tefillah.
Most people, if you said it at home, you can't say it again in shul.
That's a different nekuda. That's out the Seder Tefillah.
So you're allowed to wait, I'm saying. You clearly see it's not like...
No, that's because they're fakir. That's because they were
No,
metaking it.
You're not going to come to forget it because you're saying it davening.
No, they were metaking it. Again, that's what I was pointing out. Everything we're discussing is the world of lechatchila. You're all correct. If you forget Asher Yatzar and you remember 20 minutes later, of course you can make it. So you're all saying, which again, in the matzav of b'diavad, you don't know what to do. If you were to have me the cheshbon, okay, listen, al Netilas Yadayim, I know I have to make right now. Asher Yatzar, I know I could make later. So I'll do that. You're right. You would be right, say. We're not saying nisht. And the truth is, and you're saying, what do you mean? You make the Asher Yatzar, and then you'd also be good. But the evidence is not going to be a hefsek, because you're right, it's all tzarech v'achila. I'll tell you an interesting chap that some achrayim want to say. In the world of hefsek, it's subjective. Machlekes. But if you're doing it as the Seder, it's going to be hard to be a hefsek. If you think you're mistaken, it's not mistaken. It's Rishonim that we're discussing over here. But if you were mistaken and you did the wrong thing, Pasha says it can't be a hefsek b'diavad, because you did it as a tzarech of the Suda. So you were just wrong. It wasn't supposed to be a tzarech. A little bit of a nuance, but either way, that is what's the halacha. No, let's go names and faces. Says the Mishnah Berurah. Lamaisa, Mishnah Berurah says. I don't want to say something that's impossible, but something that is not user-friendly. So, and the Achrayim make that point.
The best thing would be not to watch with the kli, just under the...
So that's good. That's what he said. Rishon Zalman is going to get there. Mishnah Berurah doesn't say that. L'chayra, the reason Mishnah Berurah doesn't say that is because you have to, this is all a shitasa. You have to go back to Chelik Aleph, and you have to learn the Mishnah Berurahs over there, and I don't know, some Dalit, some Vav, and where he discusses what you need after using the bathroom. And then you get very nuanced. Did he go ketanim? Did he go gedolim? Did you touch a makam with 2 naflis? What's the reason you're washing? You're washing because you believe your Beis HaKisei has a din of a Beis HaMerechat, so you're not. So within the Mishnah Berurah's world, it seems he's saying you need a kli for the toilet. Lamaisa, I think we've mentioned here the story with Rav Scheinberg, how Rav Scheinberg one time was standing in the bathrooms. Anyone's ever been in our buildings? Just makes it a little bit more nostalgic. It's similar to the mirror bathrooms. It's like that big sink trough area, like, the water runs under your feet on the floor over there. Whatever, with the big towels that make a mess. Anyways, they're still there. So Rav Scheinberg was standing there and watching someone fill up a cup to the brim, and obviously overflowing out shefa for his... And obviously Rav Scheinberg was watching him in the bathroom, and Rav Scheinberg said, "What are you doing?" And just the whole story is just incredible. Can you imagine... I don't know, die on the spot, like you're in the middle of washing, what are you doing? Like, oh. So l'chayra, I mean, what would we have done? We would have been like, what should I do? So he told Rav Scheinberg, I use the bathroom. So Rav Scheinberg said, so what are you doing? He said, I used the bathroom, so I'm filling up the kais and I'm washing the. He said, so why filling up the kais? He said, because I used the bathroom. Sharm says, your chumras, I have to go to America and raise money for yeshiva? And the guy dropped that on the spot, and it was all over. But I don't know, that was Rav Scheinberg. Rav Scheinberg had very interesting shitas. Rav Scheinberg held bathrooms din mamish basic kisei parsai, and you could come out make brachas in there. Rav Scheinberg himself, I think, you have to verify with the Talmidim. Rav Scheinberg wore tefillin all day. So when you wear tefillin, you're allowed to go for ketanim. You're just not allowed to go into a bathroom. Because now the shayla is what's the urinals in the bathroom. So some say a public bathroom, like I know Tarar and Mir are beautiful places, but cleanliness is not, I don't know if they're getting an A from the whatever, but I think there were even stories that even went in there. The ganze Maisa. But either way, back to us. Said it's called being the Mishnah Berurah Shitase, but we're going to get to it. Rishon Zalman gives your Eitzah. Says the Mishnah Berurah, what should you do? Wash with Pachas Meiravias. What does that help? Pachas Meiravias doesn't help for your bracha of Netilas Yadaim. Then wash again and say Al Netilas Yadaim. Both from a kli. That's what Mishnah Berurah says to do. That's what it says. Yalkut Yosef is ma'irer. What everyone here is ma'irer. They're like, Pachas Meravias, you're getting really difficult over here. And Mishnah Berurah says, some paiskim say Al Netilas Yadayim, and then Asher Yatzar. Because Asher Yatzar is not a hefsek. Meaning wash like a mensch, come out of the bathroom, Al Netilas Yadayim, and then Asher Yatzar. Mishnah Berurah says, if you by mistake wash too much water the first time, then you could just go and be saimech on this. If there's not enough water, so Psak of Mishnah Berurah is, what would you do? Again, wash the Pachas Meravias. It's never going to happen. Wash your hands, come out, Al Netilas Yadayim, then Asher Yatzar.
If you're in the camp of brushing twice
Yeah.
for bread, so then what if you washed fully once,
Good.
right, and then you wipe, then you dried your
Good.
hands, so then you're not good enough for bread.
You are, because the fully once is good enough.
That's what I'm saying. If we,
Even it's a good question. Even if you're being machmir, it's not good enough. L'chayr. Ramesha Sternbach. Let's read Ramesha Sternbach over here. Chuvas Hanagis. Vani Shamati. Dea Muchrachas. Says Ramesha Sternbach. Shenoit al yada rak pam ukedin umavarach al Netilas Yadayim. Va'achar anigov dafka mavarach Asher Yatzar. Your hands are wet. You make al Netilas Yadayim. You dry your hands, like you said. You're really allowed to talk right now. And then you make Asher Yatzar. And he explains that the reason is, which is what Rav Effer you're bringing up, is that the maskin is the toivli zahir. It's just a toiv. The talking between the drying and the eating is a toiv. So for this little toiv, no.
this won't even be a hefsek.
That's his l'shitas. He's saying, and Elamai, you're worried about the toiv of the Shulchan Aruch. No, don't worry about that. Comes on Rishon Zalman, note number 3. Masas rachav samach l'suda. Toiv sheyatul yad tchila min haberez hakavua b'koisel. No cup. And as we've learned, the berez, the faucet, does not work as the cup doesn't. V'yarech asher yatzar. V'acher kach yitul yadav b'kli l'suda. Yeah, what? So you wanted to add it? You wanted to tell a story what happened this morning? What happened? What did you do? So, Rav Yosef, we mentioned that. So that is Rav Shlomo Zalman Arbach, which by the way, I think if no one thinks about it, it's probably what you would do. It's probably what you would do is you just wash your hands and then use a cup for Al Netilas Yadayim. Now it's only relevant if you're going to wash in that matzav. Sometimes you would think the chaptu is one. That's what Shlomo Zalman says you should do, and that's l'chayr the halacha. That is l'chayr the halacha, an important din. That anytime you're watching, again, excuse me, that wasn't nice. I just said Shlomo Zalman's halacha over the Mishnah Berurah. That's not allowed. But in practicality, let's just be a little bit practical. Is that in practicality, I don't think anyone is washing Pachas Meravias, and all these other things are a little bit difficult. So l'chayr, we could be seimech on Rav Shlomo Zalman. Good. That's a beautiful halacha. That's a beautiful halacha. Do we have any questions?
Why is it a relying? Like why is it controversial?
You're saying why would the Mishnah Berurah be maskim?
What's so
He doesn't hold to ever do that with us.
Again, I have a hard time having this conversation because, again, if you held our bathrooms are a problem, then you would need to wash with a kais. Then a water worker comes in. Even for the Ashiyatzar. Even the Ashiyatzar. L'maisa, the Ramesha writes in a tshuva, and this really centers on, can you wash your hands for bread in a bathroom? Hainu. If the bathroom has an issue, you can't wash your bread there. Again, Ramesha writes in the tshuva, you should not do a lechatchila. I do not know what happened in Klal Yisrael that I don't believe this is like a Manda Amar. Everyone it washes. I think I repeat here from Ray Reisman. Yisrael Reisman, 1 year Shabbos Shuvah Drasha was, why everyone in Eretz Yisrael, you live in a teeny little house, yet they all have the sinks outside the bathroom. Here we live in these massive houses, and everyone's sink is inside the bathroom. He says it's not lechatchila, he quoted Ramesha, and Avaida we should wash outside the bathroom. Why the Velt isn't, I don't know.
You're saying it's not in general, not for bread.
Right, yeah.
I'm saying for everything.
No, for bread,
But you go to Ramesha.
For everything. I believe, again, I have to check.
most people don't wash for bread inside the bathroom.
No. Anytime you need to have a real netila. Anytime you need to use it, even in the morning. Lamashal, in the morning. In the morning. In the morning. Oh, you saying either is not negay because you wash next to your bed in the negel vaser. It's just obviously. I wish I could say it inside. One of the reasons why people aren't as makbid nowadays, Shlomo Zalman writes, he has a Kabbalah from the Goin, from Chaim Volozhin, from the Goin, yes, thank you, from Chaim Volozhin, from the Goin, that when Avram ben Avram was killed al Kiddush Hashem, the Toma in the Velt was decreased. And he writes, that's the reason why he believes people are not as a makbid on Tuma related things. Like, I think it's brought down Alicha Shleima in Hilchas Seder HaBoiker Tefillah over there. I believe he says that's why the washing next to the bed, whatever. Fascinating idea. Okay, fascinating idea. Let's continue. That's why you do it, of course. Let's continue. As he downs a bottle of whiskey. Let's continue. So the next discussion is, what do you do when you go to the bathroom during the meal? You go to the bathroom during the meal, thank you. Do you wash your hands? Obviously, beautiful. With soap, singing happy birthday till I finish. Obviously, beautiful. Do you make a new Netilas Yadaim? No. What if you're eating bread? Still no. No, meaning you're going to say it's halfway through the meal and whatever. But let's say I'm still eating bread. So says the Shulchan Aruch. Mi shayimid besuda v'nizkar shenaga b'shoik v'yarich u'makayim es hamuchusim ba'adam oy shechichich b'roishay v'chol ki'etze b'zeh u'makayim es hamtunafim sheishem b'mulizeya sarich lachzor v'lita yadav v'yavarich al netilas yadayim. Sarich means you're mechuyev. Says the Mishnah Berurah, but kol shekein in nagab in memakom in tenafos mamish. Certainly, if you mamish touch yourself in a dirty place, ayas asrachav, I use the bathroom. Ayafilu hito meiraglayim. V'shiv shef biyadav, and your hands got dirty. You got to wash your hands and make an al netilas yadayim. Now, first of all, a parenthetical point which we definitely won't delve into in public, but this was a big deeper in Kailul when we learned this. How do we say this? When one is matal meiraglayim, is it a davar pashit that his hands have to touch mekamis hamuchusim? No. Let's leave it at that. If not, l'chayra, there's no reason he has to wash his hands, and he can even make an ashiyazar. It's a fascinating thing to think about. There is a Mishnah Berurah that is merames to this, but here he says hitel meiraglayim v'shif shef biyadav. Clearly that your hands got dirty, implying if your hands didn't get dirty, then this wouldn't be the case of hitel meiraglayim. It's only in a case if your mamish nagab b'makam esam tunafim. Says you make a brach al tizayim. Says the Mishnah Berurah as our resident koyin, who's proficient in particularly Hilchos Netilas Yadaim. Particularly. V'rashal chaylik. Usvirale te'ein sarach levarich. You don't have to make a bracha machmas nigiyasa b'emsa suda b'zeya if you touch zeya. V'afilu v'asa sarach b'emsa suda. Kam kein svirale te'ein sarach levarich. Ela im kein halach liflik b'emsa suda. So unless you mamish go out, gansa, whatever, then yeah. But if not, now v'ine yesh harbe deis b'achreinim. Says Mishmur. We have a machlekes. Machaber said make a bracha. The Marshal says don't make a bracha. Yesh harbe deis ba'achronim yesh linig l'maisi k'maisi if we should go with the Rashal. Ein be'er lacha shechranu tiba asa sarachav oishalim when it comes to Rav Mamish adol chuflega sarich Netilas Yadaim bibracha. Avol im naga b'makaymis ha'mechusas stam oishehishti nafshe shivshev sarich netila without a bracha. So first of all, one thing is unanimous, and this I don't know if is, maybe for those hygiene people post-COVID, this is pashit. But unanimously, when one uses the bathroom during the Suda, you got to wash your hands. And what? You always wash your hands? What? You didn't go to preschool? Right. But not like a dot of water, yetzayin, ki'ilu. You have to really wash your hands. Everyone agrees that. You need netila. The question just is, al tzla bracha, mishmura paskins, if you touch real mekamis and mitzunafis, with a kais. Again, this goes back to old blood, old machlekes. L'chayr lavdaf with a kais. Chayr for mekamis enough, you just need a proper amount of water. That was the detail I was pointing out. A dot of water l'chayra won't work. So
Can soap also, or is that?
yeah, you don't need.
I understand, but I'm saying
Yeah.
it doesn't interrupt.
No, that would for sure just help. Now,
Purell doesn't work?
Purell, interesting. The Chazayin Ish says Lemaisa Hamavarich Lo Hifsin in all these cases. V'Amekel Shaloi Levarich Ein Moichem Biyadai. So the question is, is any reason why the velt is mekel? Can anyone think of a reason?
If the whole thing was there to begin with, so once you did it. Now it's just you're in the meal. But I'm saying in reality.
What do you mean? Why in reality? I touch Mekom Zamin to not face.
If you were eating trumataka and
That's for sure. But Lemaisa, I touch Mekom Zamin Kunafai, so it's not just a zecher. My hands are mamish dirty.
no, then before the meal.
Before the meal, you know what I'm saying. I think there's.
Once you did it. Now you're in the meal. So
Listen, there's a little bit of an easier answer. This Chazanish says, "I'll make a loyhifsid." L'chayr, the easier answer might be this gets into gray areas, which he quotes over here, B'Shem Rav Shechter. So we could just follow his lead. Nowadays, are our covered areas covered areas? It's like one of those things everyone wants to say, but it's hard. No one says it. We all know. Yeah, you touch your upper arm, you got to go wash your hands, and then everyone says my upper arm, it's perfectly clean. What's the big deal? You push it.
what's normal covered?
No.
With his talus like this. He was
He's adjusting his tone.
adjusting his tefillin, but his hand was engulfed in his talus like bedavka. So not I thought it was his arm.
So it's not
Yeah,
touches
it's
What?
on
really weird.
How do you put on your tefillin?
Gloves, stomp. So yeah. That was really weird. Yeah.
There's a Kaf HaChaim. Here's the quote this over here. There's a Kaf HaChaim that says, what happens when you come out of a shower? What does a chaver do after a shower?
Oh,
Yeah, we spoke about this.
It's when we come out of the mikvah, yeah.
Come out of the mikvah. Good. This is I'm
Makes sense. That's dirty.
I'm fascinated by this. It depends what mikvah. Slow down. You live. You got to go to a new mikvah.
Talking about showers after the shower.
Yeah, we spoke about this. Tachlis. After the shower, everyone washes their hands until it's time?
No.
Yeah, I do.
I think I'm supposed to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
The assumption you touch
You can be honest. We already have one person saying no.
I know.
No.
That's not right.
You do. Good. Wait, next. After the mikvah, when you go, don't everyone get all nervous. The once
Not a chance.
I, the Mishmur says, also go shalosh regalim. Kash al ma'isa. What happened to that Mishmur?
Yeah.
Mikvah, yeah. So what? Mikvah, no. So Grad, you're following Allah. Grad, Roiv. I don't say Roiv. How do you get stats of these things? You don't want to be that weirdo, standing. But it seems, I did a shtickle stats on this. In yeshivas when we gave yeshir on this, we took stats from the Bachram. They're happy to talk about it. So it seems that many more people wash their hands after the mikvah than after the shower. Now, lahalacha, it's hafuch. Lahalacha, you take a shower, you touch your covered areas of your body, you got to wash your hands. You went into a mikvah, even if you covered areas of your body, what's halacha? The mikvah blibes netila.
Okay, after the fact.
What do you mean?
After you went.
Good. Good. So now, good, we get more practical. You get dressed, you put on your socks. What? You dry yourself off. Good. So wait. So there's different slavim over here. I don't have my notes. This is like, I love this stuff. Okay, so let's just go for a moment here. So it would make more sense, though, barring drying and getting dressed, after the mikvah to not wash your hands. So why do more people wash your hands after the mikvah?
The shower's not considered a mikvah?
Nope. With the haraya, you can't do Netilas Yadaim in the shower. We spoke about this.
They tell you that 9.
No, that's a Tishas Kavan al Tfilas Ezra. But the Netilas Yadaim nish, that's our whole discussion we're busy having. So I think it's just a theory. More people wash their hands after the mikvah because the first time they went to the mikvah in their life, they were told by whoever brought them to the mikvah that when you leave the mikvah, you wash your hands. Or this is a sign, you wash your hands. And no one ever told someone, by the way, after a shower, you're supposed to wash your hands also. I think it's just a simple mistake that's happening in Klal Yisrael. However,
Shower after they use the mikvah, so it's after the shower.
and they only wash their hands when they go to the mikvah, but not in their own shower at their house. Figure that one out, right? So I'm telling you, that's where I think it comes from. But now, the problem is, even the chaver that wash your hands after the shower, now we get more detailed. Is it before you get dressed or after you get dressed? Many people, now this makes no sense. They come out of the shower, they wash their hands, then they get dressed. Well, that's ridiculous, because as you get dressed, you touch your body. That's what many people do. So, the answer to all these questions are, if you look in the Shulchan Aruch, Lamaisa, anytime you touch covered areas of your body, which certainly when you get dressed is going to happen, certainly in the shower and in the mikvah and all these things, the halacha is, you must wash Netilas Yadaim. What? No bracha. What is the Velt Soimich on to say it like that? I believe is there's a Kafa Chayim. Kafa Chayim writes that it's counterintuitive. Why are you washing your hands when you touch Mekayim Samtu Nafis? Why are you washing your hands when you touch covered areas? Well, why? Because these areas are called Milmale Zeya. These areas are called dirty. Kasha Lamaisa. I'm in the shower with the soap. And you're telling me that I'm a Milmale Zeya? Doesn't make any sense. I'm sitting there scrubbing off the Zeya. So how can you tell me? Problem is no one says this. No one says this. Gan Shulchan Aruch, this idea does not come up.
You're scrubbing off the zayas, so you touched it.
No, but then your hands have soap on them. Sum total, when you walk out of the shower, your hands clean or not? Yes. So why do we wash them with a cup? It's not a din in tuma. That's the mistake. It's not a din in tuma. It's a din in cleanliness. So cleanliness is clean. What? Same thing as a mikvah. Same thing as a mikvah. Pashta says it's a low plug in the world of the Shulchan Aruch, and that's why Avada you should wash your hands. There is a Kafa Chayim, which some want to taina, that says that if you're coming out of the area that's making you clean, it's neged seichel to require washing again. Now, the problem is the Kafa Chayim doesn't help in all cases. It doesn't help when you get dressed. Because once you come out of the mikvah, shower, and you dry yourself off, now the areas of your body, bleib, whatever the areas are. It's called Mekayim Samuchusin. So once you touch it, you l'chayra should wash your hands again. Here, he quotes from Harav Shachter. It says, nowadays, people shower every day or every other day, or twice a day. He doesn't put that in, but touching most covered areas will not require you to wash your hands again, he says. And the reason is because we're extra clean. This is a chiddush, or Shlomo Zalman says what you just said. To see this inside as we conclude, Hanageh b'makom mechoseh afilu miyad la'achar sharachatz gufay sarich netila v'af shebshazu ein sham mamuli zeh mikom makom loy plug rabban. That's a loy plug. What are you doing? So again, I told you there is a Kafa Chayim. That are those that are Seimachan. But again, the lichatchila, the shpitz lichatchila, of course, would be to re-wash your hands. I just want to be ma'ir or something. This whole thing of washing your hands is to say the Shem Hashem, right? So that means when you sit down to have a cup of coffee, we know Stam Yadayim Maskani Yasim. So before you make the coffee, you should be washing your hands. No one in the world ever did that. Why not? So now this is where there's an issue. There's an issue in Sugi over here. You're sitting and learning. You scratch your head. Do you have to wash your hands? The answer is yes. Why don't you? Because you're learning. Okay, great. But now, eventually, right? You're sitting at the desk, you scratch your head, you have to wash your hands. You can't not wash your hands before you make a bracha. How do you make a bracha without washing your hands? This is a very good question. I do not have a very good answer.
You have to wash.
You have to. Oh, good. But is everyone doing that at least? All right. So the answer is you could do that. You could, at least wipe down your hands. You could wipe down your hands. It's just something to be ma'ir that I think, again, you want to know where I personally think it came from? I think if you go back 100 years, they don't understand their eating habits. They ate when they ate and they didn't eat when they didn't eat. So you ask that person, he had a suda. Before his suda, he washed his hands. And he made sure his hands were clean. There's no such concept you're eating 24 hours a day. So the fact that we're in a world of snacking, we're in a world of brachos rishonais, so we're in a world that we're not makbid in our hands, so now we're creating an issue. Right, and then the bracha achrayna, good, and then the problem comes, what happened to the bracha achrayna? Bracha achrayna in the last 50 years has become like, pasha naguna. Like, bracha achrayna? No, you bench, I hear, what about, what about Brain Nefashos? Al Mechia? The answer is when you're eating so much, you forget. It's the same issue. But again, to wrap it up, lahalacha lemaisa, halacha lemaisa and bandage, just to get the halacha lemaisa out of this halacha lemaisa, is that if the bandage is going to stay on for the whole meal, you don't have to take it off. You're allowed to wash with it on. What does it mean stay on the whole meal? Pasha, there has to be a reason it's going to stay on. Meaning it's a bad cut, it's a whatever. Then if it's mamish going to be there. If it's just the type of thing you just put on, like, oh, it's so annoying to take it off. Like, okay, then you should take it off. Why? Because in the middle of the meal, you're going to take it off. And if you take it off in the middle of the meal, you're going to come into an issue because then you have a part of your hand which wasn't washed. And then you have a big machlekes. You have to rewash your hands at that point and one not. So the psak halacha is, if it's a bandage, something that's there, needs to be there, should be there, then you're allowed to leave it there, you're allowed to wash with it on, and you're allowed to go weiter. The covered areas of our body, certainly we should take the chizik and try to be makbid. Using the bathroom before the suda, l'maiser shel mizamen is going to be the easiest eitzah, which is to wash without a cup and then rewash afterwards with a cup and then make the bracha.